The purpose of this video is to give you kind of a walkthrough of the Genius project process throughout your website. On the home page, you want to give the title of the global goal and a short introduction of your topic. Be sure to use the global goal that was given to you. Don't change it here at the beginning. I used the global refugee and migration crisis, which is not one of the global goals. I wanted something that was different than what you were going to choose. So I gave a short introduction, an appropriate picture, and at the bottom, I gave a very short video. My name is not refugee. This actually kind of tells you where I'm going with this project. Why? Because refugees are not just refugees. They're not just a number. They're a real person. And so I'm trying to get the reader or viewer to see that. So I kind of whet your appetite, as I said, with this little short video at the beginning. The header of every page, I have changed the image and would like for you to do so. On the About Me page is the only one that's not really part of your Genius project. We'll begin that with the Explore page. Now, on the Explore page, you are defining your world goal or problem. You're providing as much information as you can about it. You look at all aspects of it. You want to look at all the targets that are included in your world goal. You want to question everything. You want to research about it, watch videos, analyze data. You're looking for some data visualization or graphs or images or tables that help define your problem. So this is probably the longest page in your website. So I began with what is the refugee crisis and giving a little bit of data here. This is the mind map that I created in Kaggle, and give a link to your mind map so that you can go out to the original mind map on the Kaggle website. Then I began to give some data visualization, some graphics and charts that help me to tell the story of refugee crisis. I begin with global displacement of individuals and then hone down to refugees in the United States, giving a little bit of data and some more graphs that help to tell the story of refugees and migrants in the United States. Then I honed down a little bit more to the United States refugee screening process. Most people do not know that there's an 11-step process that can take 18 months to 3 years for a refugee to be accepted into the United States legally. On the Interpret page, after you've gathered all the data, you want to summarize it and make sense of it all. You're demonstrating that you truly understand the problem. You can create your own video or graphic that shows that you understand the full scope. I used an overview by the United States Ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power. This fella, John Green, discusses the Syrian refugee crisis and does an excellent job of giving an understanding and overview of the problem. You don't just select any videos here for the Interpret page. Does it really summarize everything that you put on the Explore page? And then this is one from a personal point of view of a refugee. Then you include the survey that you create. So you can have a few demographic questions and then your content questions. It is advisable that you use questions from some of the more famous research sites such as Pew Research, the UN surveys. Look for surveys that have already been created. Why? Because those are survey questions that have already been established as viable, valid, and reliable. If we make up our own questions, they may not really get the data that we wanted. So your questions creation is extremely important here. Your Google Forms module gives you 17 or 18 different research sites that give you very good questions, and so it is advisable to use those. You want to give your survey results, especially of your demographics and the ones that show graphs. Your analysis here is extremely important. You want to give a general overall analysis and then pick out a few things that are extremely important. The importance of Americans accepting refugees because of the violation of human rights. Different demographic groups in my survey found or had different opinions about why we should accept refugees into the United States. Some of the two most important ones were violation of human rights and hunger and persecution. These are reasons that we should accept refugees according to the respondents in my survey. Then I give a general conclusions of the entire survey. The next step in the process is brainstorming. Now this is where you are brainstorming solutions and ways that you can advocate for this particular problem or goal. This is where you can begin to narrow down to one of the targets or particular aspect of this problem that you like or that your data from your survey indicate are important. So on this page, I created an e-magazine about the priority solutions for this particular problem of the refugee and migration. So it goes on and gives nice pictures, a nice overview of the different solutions for the refugee crisis. You want to brainstorm different ways that people can help in this. Okay? Influencing public policy, making your community a refugee welcoming city or county, signing a petition, contacting elected officials, using social media, advocating for refugees, get involved with the local refugee resettlement program, donate to different organizations. So you're brainstorming different ways that people can help or advocate for this problem. You may select one of your technology modules to help tell your story on this page. Next is the develop. You're developing your advocacy strategy. This is a time for action in your Genius project. I propose two solutions really to give you an example. I did one of a lesson plan for understanding the global refugee crisis. It's important for students to understand this problem. If we begin by education and educating students about it, as they grow up, they'll be more concerned about this problem. Second example that I gave you is writing a letter to your congressman, and I actually wrote a letter to a congressman urging him or her to ensure legal pathways to citizenship, create just and fair guest worker programs, and such and so on. You can read those for yourself. So I gave 2 solutions. You only have to give one solution that you're going to actually do. And so, like I said, I chose the lesson plan. Then you go to test, and this is where you really do conduct whatever advocacy strategy you selected. I literally did. I taught my lesson to 3 high school students. They watched the videos from the lesson. They completed a think, pair, share activity and answered these questions. They each had different responses, which I recorded. They had to create an Animoto video as a part of their lesson. This is one of them. I posted one of their videos in this, and then each of you will have these 3 questions to answer and reflect on how your test went. How successful was your implementation of your advocacy solution? If you were to implement this solution again, what are 3 things you would change about it? 3, what are 3 things you learned about this global problem that you did not know before because you implemented your advocacy plan? And then finally, you will create a presentation about this entire process and how it went. There's a presentation module in Blackboard for you. You cannot use PowerPoint or Google Slides. It gives you options to use. I used Beautiful AI, and you're welcome to review my presentation here. And then you're going to use a screencast program, Screencast-O-Matic or Screencastify, and which is an add-on to your Chrome browser. And you will do a video, very much like what I'm doing right now, of you giving your presentation. So you're going to post your presentation itself and a video of you giving the presentation. And then the final page is references. This is only one Google file where you put all of your references together. As you have created the different pages, web pages, and the different technology projects, you have been recording your references. In this, you're going to put them all together, copy and paste, put them all together in one references file. Be sure that you alphabetize them by author. Be sure that they are double spaced with no extra space in between the references. You'll put them all together, whether they're for, it doesn't matter what page they were for or what technology project they were for, they're all alphabetized together in one long references list. And this concludes this video.